Yo, what's good, everybody? Bassdropkeys, your friendly neighborhood Negro, and in today's video, I'm making a 30,000 milligram cake. So as you guys can see, we're gonna make a Betty Crocker devil food cake with chocolate frosting. Now I was gonna make a cake from scratch, but the purpose of this video is not to make the best cake. The cake is just the vessel in which we're gonna put 30,000 milligrams of THC. Now, as far as how we get to 30,000 milligrams, this is 28 grams of 95% distillate. This is 26,600 milligrams right here. Right here, I'm showing you the can of oil that we're going to be using. This is a cup and it has 1,700 milligrams. Right here, we're going to be using can of butter, a cup. This right here is 1,800 milligrams. So total, we have 30,100 milligrams of THC that we're going to be putting inside of our cake. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to preheat our oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we're going to get down to making this cake. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to follow the instructions on the back of the box. For this particular cake, we're going to put the cake mix, half a cup of oil, and 2 eggs inside of a bowl and mix it together well with our hand mixer. Oh yeah, also I forgot to mention that on the back of the box it does call for a quarter cup of water as well, but just follow the instructions on back of the box. Now if I only use the oil, I wouldn't have had enough milligrams to call this a 30,000 milligram cake. So what I'm also doing is I'm adding a half cup of butter inside the cake batter as well. I would have used more oil, but I didn't have enough can of oil and I did have some can of butter. So I'm melting this down and I'm gonna put the butter in as well, and we're gonna mix this until it's a great consistency. Now that we have it mixed exactly how we want it, we're gonna put the main ingredient other than the oil and the butter. I'm gonna take half of this jar of this distillate. This is 95% distillate right here. And I'm gonna put about 14 grams inside this first layer of cake. Don't forget that we're doing 2 layers, so everything that you see me doing right now, I actually did it twice. Now that the batter is made, I'm going to spray my pan with non-stick cooking spray. We're going to pour our batter inside of our pan, and once we have both layers inside of our pans, we're going to put both the pans inside the oven to cook for 20 to 25 minutes. Right here, I want to thank everybody that's been supporting the channel. This is the 100,000 subscriber special. Thank you so much for supporting the channel to 100,000 subscribers. Now, while the cakes are cooking, we're going to prepare our frosting. One of the things that I show you guys here on the channel is a way to fluff up your frosting, and that's just by putting it in a bowl and taking a hand mixer to it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fluff up my frosting, but also add the last of this distillate in here. When I did the 2 cakes, I kept a little bit of the distillate so I could put in the frosting as well. So I'm going to put the frosting inside the bowl, add the rest of the distillate, and then use my hand mixer to fluff it together. It makes it more creamier, and it probably tastes the same, but it does make it more creamier and fluffy, and it's easier to work with. Now, getting back to the cakes, I did have to put some parchment paper underneath the cakes because they did overflow. Because I had to go away from the recipe and add more to the recipe to get to 30,000 milligrams, it was too much batter inside of the cake. So while I was cooking, it overflowed. So I put parchment paper underneath it to catch it so I don't have to worry about cleaning up the oven. Ideally, whenever you're making a cake, you only want to fill up the pan 3/4 the way. But like I said, because I put some extra ingredients or extra amount of oil and butter inside of the cake, it overflowed because it was too much batter, but it's just something to deal with. Oh, by the way, if this happens to you, you want to put something underneath it to catch the overflow, like I said, but also you just want to cook it until it's finished. Whenever you could put a fork or a knife or a toothpick inside of your cake and you pull it out clean, you want to cook it until that happens. That way it'll go ahead and finish, and I'll show you what to do with the cakes right now. So our cakes are done. Let's go ahead and take them out of the oven and take a look at them. You can see where they overflowed and now they're sucking in. Normally, whenever the cakes cook, it's kind of puffed up like a souffle. But no matter if they puff up or if they overflow like this, we're still gonna treat them the same way. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna let the cakes cool. You cannot put the frosting on a cake that is still hot or warm, or otherwise the frosting will melt. So you're gonna let the cakes cool for an hour or two. When they're completely cool, we're gonna come back and go to the next step. So now what I'm doing is I'm taking a knife and I cut inside the cake. What I do is I use the top of the pan to make sure that I stay horizontal. And we're just going to cut off the top of these cakes so that way they're flat whenever we put them on our cake pan and frost them. So now what we're going to do is we're going to flip the cake onto the cake pan. Once you have the first layer on it, you're going to frost it. Make sure you put a nice coating of frosting in the middle. People really like a nice layer of frosting in between the cake layers, so make sure that you frost that up pretty good. Once you have that done, you put the second layer on the top, and then you frost the top and around the whole cake on the sides.
Smoking all day, I be smoking all day. Put your blunts up in the sky. I be smoking all day, I be smoking all day. Put your blunts up in the sky. Put your blunts up in the sky. Put your blunts up in the sky. I be smoking all day. Put your blunts up in the sky. I be smoking all day, I be smoking all day. Put your blunts up in.
Alright guys, so we made the cake. Now it's time to taste it. I want to thank you guys for 100,000 subscribers. Thank you for all the support, and hopefully we can take this channel to 500,000 and 1 million subscribers. But let's go ahead and get into it. I made a 30,000 milligram cake. Yay! Let's check it out. Oh man, just super chocolatey. Woo! All right, let's try it out. Oh man, that's really good. Super chocolatey. I'm about to finish my cake. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you.